Hollywood says goodbye to stars whose legacies shaped the way we laugh, cry, and dream. Today, on Gone Legends, we remember 3 American icons who left us recently, but whose work and impact will never fade. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Gone Legends, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Together, we honor their memory. Today, we remember a man whose gift for storytelling made him one of Hollywood's most versatile performers. An actor, a director, a musician, and a lifelong artist, Alan Arkin spent more than 6 decades touching hearts, making us laugh, and showing us the power of humanity through film. This is the life and legacy of Alan Arkin. Alan Wolfe Arkin was born on March 26, 1934, in Brooklyn, New York, to David and Beatrice Arkin. His parents were both school teachers, and his childhood was filled with creativity, books, and music. At age 11, Alan's family moved to Los Angeles, where his passion for the arts only deepened. From a young age, he studied acting, and his natural talent shone through. But Alan was not just an actor, he was a musician too. In fact, before his Hollywood career took off, he played guitar and sang in a folk music group called the Terriers, who had a hit song with the Banana Boat song in the 1950s. Music, art, and storytelling would remain central parts of Alan's identity throughout his life. Alan Arkin's rise in the world of acting was not instant, it was earned. He studied at Los Angeles State College, and later with the legendary acting teacher Benno Schneider. He sharpened his skills in theater groups before making his mark on Broadway. In 1963, Alan starred in the Broadway production of Enter Laughing, earning rave reviews and winning a Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Play. This recognition propelled him into Hollywood, where his screen career would begin. Alan Arkin's first major film role came in The Russians Are Coming, 1966. His comedic brilliance and commanding presence earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, a rare achievement for a debut film role. From that moment forward, Alan Arkin was recognized as one of Hollywood's most gifted actors. He wasn't limited to a single type of role. He could play comedy, drama, or suspense with equal skill. Throughout the 1960s, 70s, and beyond, Arkin's filmography grew to include some of the most memorable performances of his era. Wait Until Dark, 1967, where he played a chilling villain opposite Audrey Hepburn. Catch-22, 1970, based on Joseph Heller's classic novel, showcasing his knack for satire. The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, 1968, earning him yet another Oscar nomination. The In-Laws, 1979, where his comedic timing alongside Peter Falk became legendary. Arkin's work wasn't about being a typical leading man. He was different, quirky, unpredictable, and always authentic. After decades of acclaimed work, Alan Arkin delivered one of the most beloved performances of his career in Little Miss Sunshine, 2006. As Edwin Hoover, the foul-mouthed but warm-hearted grandfather of a dysfunctional family, Arkin brought both humor and tenderness to the screen. His role won him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, along with the Screen Actors Guild Award. It was a fitting recognition for a man whose career had already spanned generations. Arkin also found success on television, appearing in acclaimed projects like The Pentagon Papers, 2003, and the Netflix series The Kominsky Method, 2018 to 2019. His performance in the latter, alongside Michael Douglas, earned him 2 Primetime Emmy nominations, proving his brilliance never faded with age. Whether in drama or comedy, Alan Arkin had a rare gift: the ability to make every role feel lived in and real. Outside of acting, Alan Arkin was a creative force in many ways. He directed films such as Little Murders, 1971, which became a cult classic. He was also an accomplished author, writing memoirs and children's books. His memoirs, including An Improvised Life, offered deep insights into his philosophy of acting and living authentically. He never sought to be a star in the traditional sense. He simply sought to tell stories in whatever form they came. Alan Arkin was married 3 times and was a devoted father to his sons Adam, Matthew, and Anthony, 2 of whom followed him into the world of acting. His family often spoke about his warmth, humor, and wisdom. Away from the cameras, Arkin lived quietly, spending time with his loved ones and embracing a life of creativity and peace. On June 29, 2023, Alan Arkin passed away peacefully at his home in Carlsbad, California, at the age of 89. His cause of death was reported as natural causes. He was laid to rest in a private family service, leaving behind a body of work that spans stage, film, television, music, and writing. Alan Arkin's passing marked the end of an era. He was not the loudest actor, nor the flashiest, but he was one of the truest. His performances carried authenticity, honesty, and humanity. He could make us laugh in one moment and move us to tears in the next. That rare ability is what made him unforgettable. Alan Arkin lived 89 years of creativity, resilience, and artistry. He gave us unforgettable performances across stage and screen, and his work will continue to inspire generations of actors and audiences. Though he is gone, his spirit remains alive, in every laugh he sparked, in every tear he drew, and in every story he told. Rest in peace, Alan Arkin. You were a master of your craft, a storyteller at heart, and a legend who will never be forgotten. Today, we remember a man whose commanding presence and remarkable talent made him one of the most respected actors of his generation. With a voice like thunder and a gaze that could cut through silence, Andre Braugher gave us characters that were unforgettable. From hard-hitting dramas to sharp comedies, he proved that true acting is about depth, honesty, and humanity. This is the story of Andre Braugher. Andre Keith Braugher was born on July 1, 1962, in Chicago, Illinois. Raised in a modest working-class family, he grew up with strong values, discipline, and ambition. He attended St. Ignatius College Prep, where his intelligence and drive became clear. Andre went on to earn a scholarship to Stanford University, graduating with a degree in theater. But his hunger for excellence didn't stop there. He trained at the legendary Juilliard School in New York City, where he refined his craft and developed the precision, intensity, and presence that would later define his career. Andre Braugher made his film debut in 1989, appearing as Corporal Thomas Searles in the epic war drama Glory. Acting alongside Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, and Matthew Broderick, his performance stood out, introducing him to audiences as a talent to watch. But it was television that gave him his true breakthrough. In 1993, Andre was cast as Detective Frank Pembleton in the NBC drama Homicide: Life on the Street. His portrayal of Pembleton, an intense, brilliant, and sometimes abrasive detective, became one of the most acclaimed performances in television history. For 7 seasons, Andre carried the show with his intellectual ferocity and emotional depth, earning 2 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series. His performance set a new standard for realism and complexity in television crime dramas. While Homicide cemented his reputation, Andre refused to be typecast. His career became a showcase of versatility. He played generals, lawyers, and politicians in shows like Gideon's Crossing, Hack, and Men of a Certain Age. He appeared in films like City of Angels, 1998, Frequency, 2000, Poseidon, 2006, and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, 2007. He excelled in historical and dramatic projects, delivering performances that were powerful, layered, and deeply human. Every role he took carried the weight of authenticity. In 2013, Andre Braugher surprised fans by stepping into comedy, and once again he delivered brilliance. As Captain Raymond Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Andre became beloved by a whole new generation of viewers. With his deadpan delivery, stoic expression, and impeccable comedic timing, he turned Holt into a fan favorite. Whether trading banter with Jake Peralta or delivering perfectly flat punchlines, Andre showed that he could master comedy just as effortlessly as drama. For this role, he earned 4 Primetime Emmy nominations, proving his talent knew no limits. Away from the spotlight, Andre Braugher lived a life centered on love and family. He married actress Amy Brabson in 1991, and together they had 3 sons: Michael, Isaiah, and John Wesley. Despite his fame, Andre was known to be humble, grounded, and deeply committed to his family. Colleagues often described him as thoughtful, generous, and quietly inspiring. On December 11, 2023, Andre Braugher passed away in New Jersey at the age of 61, following a brief battle with lung cancer. His death shocked fans and devastated the entertainment industry. Tributes poured in from fellow actors, writers, and fans around the world, all remembering him as a giant of the screen and a kind, genuine man off of it. He was laid to rest in a private family ceremony, surrounded by those he loved most. Andre Braugher's legacy is one of excellence. As Frank Pembleton, he redefined the television detective. As Captain Holt, he showed us the power of subtle, understated comedy. Across films, series, and stage, he gave performances that were unforgettable. But beyond the screen, he was a devoted husband, a loving father, and a role model for countless aspiring actors. Andre Braugher lived 61 years of artistry, strength, and dignity. He taught us that acting is not about fame, but about truth, about making audiences believe, feel, and remember. Though his time was cut short, his voice, his presence, and his characters will live forever. Rest in peace, Andre Braugher. You were a pillar of talent, a master of your craft, and a legend whose light will never fade. Today, we honor a man who broke barriers, redefined the image of a leading man in Hollywood, and became an icon of American cinema. His name was Richard Roundtree, the man the world will forever remember as John Shaft, but whose life and career went far beyond a single role. Richard Roundtree was born on July 9, 1942, in New Rochelle, New York. He grew up in a working-class family, raised with discipline, love, and the values of determination and perseverance. As a teenager, Richard showed athletic talent, excelling in football. He attended Southern Illinois University on a scholarship and pursued the sport passionately. But fate had other plans. After college, Roundtree's natural charisma, good looks, and commanding presence opened doors to the world of fashion and modeling. By the mid-1960s, he was working with the Ebony Fashion Fair, one of the premier African-American traveling fashion shows of the era. This early career gave him confidence and stage presence, laying the foundation for his future as an actor. In 1967, Richard joined New York's Negro Ensemble Company, a theater group that became a launching pad for many black actors of the time. It was here that Roundtree sharpened his craft, learned discipline as a performer, and prepared for the moment that would forever change his life. That moment came in 1971. In 1971, Richard Roundtree was cast as John Shaft in Gordon Parks' film Shaft. John Shaft was unlike any character Hollywood had ever seen before. A private detective in Harlem, Shaft was stylish, tough, unapologetic, and undeniably cool. With his leather coat, unshakable confidence, and fearless attitude, Shaft became a cultural icon overnight. For millions of black moviegoers, seeing Richard Roundtree in this role was revolutionary. He wasn't a side character. He wasn't a stereotype. He was the hero, powerful, independent, and proud. Shaft was a box office smash, and its Oscar-winning theme song by Isaac Hayes became legendary. Richard Roundtree reprised the role in sequels like Shaft's Big Score, 1972, and Shaft in Africa, 1973, cementing his place in film history. Because of Shaft, Roundtree was dubbed the Godfather of Black cinema, paving the way for generations of black actors and filmmakers who followed. Though Shaft made him a star, Richard Roundtree's career extended far beyond that iconic role. He appeared in dozens of films, including Earthquake, 1974, City Heat, 1984, alongside Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds, Seven, 1995, with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and George of the Jungle, 1997. On television, he showed his versatility in dramas, comedies, and guest appearances. He had roles in Roots, 1977, Magnum, P.I., Desperate Housewives, Being Mary Jane, and Chicago Fire. Later, in 2000, Roundtree returned to his most famous character, appearing alongside Samuel L. Jackson in a new Shaft film. He reprised the role again in 2019, passing the torch to a younger generation while reminding audiences why he was the original. Off-screen, Richard Roundtree lived a life marked by both triumphs and challenges. He married twice and was the father of 5 children, whom he cherished deeply. Despite the demands of Hollywood, he often spoke about the importance of family and balance. In 1993, Richard faced one of his toughest battles when he was diagnosed with breast cancer, a rare disease among men. Courageously, he underwent a double mastectomy and chemotherapy. Rather than keeping his illness private, Roundtree chose to speak openly about it, raising awareness and breaking stigma around male breast cancer. His openness saved lives as he encouraged men to get checked and take their health seriously. On October 24, 2023, Richard Roundtree passed away at his home in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 81. The cause of death was pancreatic cancer. He was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Los Angeles, a place where so many Hollywood legends now rest. His passing was met with tributes from actors, filmmakers, and fans who understood the depth of his impact on American cinema. Richard Roundtree was more than John Shaft. He was a trailblazer who shattered barriers, an actor of depth and dignity, and a man who used his platform to inspire and uplift others. For Black audiences in the 1970s, he was the hero they had been waiting for. For younger generations, he was proof that representation matters, and that one performance can change the industry forever. Richard Roundtree lived 81 years of style, strength, and substance. He gave us heroes who looked like us, spoke for us, and stood tall with pride. Though he is gone, his influence will never fade. Every actor of color who walks onto a set today does so in part because of the path he cleared. Rest in peace, Richard Roundtree. You were more than an icon. You were a pioneer, a warrior, and a legend who will live on for generations. Some legends are not just remembered for what they've done in the past. Some continue to walk among us, reminding the world of the brilliance of artistry, discipline, and passion. One of those legends is Sir Anthony Hopkins, an actor, a composer, a painter, and a man whose name is etched into the very heart of cinema. This is the story of a boy from Wales who became one of the greatest actors of all time. This is the story of Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins was born on December 31, 1937, in the small town of Port Talbot, Wales. His father, Richard, was a baker, and his mother, Muriel, a homemaker. Life was simple and modest. Young Anthony often described himself as a solitary child, shy and withdrawn, who struggled in school and felt out of place. But amid the difficulties, there was creativity. Hopkins found inspiration in art, music, and performance. Encouraged by fellow Welsh actor Richard Burton, whom he met briefly in his youth, Hopkins decided to pursue acting. That moment of encouragement became a spark that lit the fire of one of the greatest careers in cinema history. Hopkins studied at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama in Cardiff, and later at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, in London. By the 1960s, he joined the Royal National Theatre, where he trained under the legendary Sir Laurence Olivier. Hopkins' raw intensity and unmatched focus made him stand out even among the most talented actors of his generation. Though destined for film stardom, he first made his mark on stage, taking on Shakespearean roles that showcased his deep, booming voice and emotional power. Anthony Hopkins made his film debut in The Lion in Winter, 1968, playing King Richard the Lionheart alongside Katharine Hepburn and Peter O'Toole. His performance was magnetic, and Hollywood quickly recognized his immense talent. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Hopkins built a steady career with roles in films such as Magic, 1978, The Elephant Man, 1980, and 84 Charing Cross Road, 1987. But it was the 1990s that transformed him from respected actor to global icon. In 1991, Hopkins took on the role that would forever define him, Dr. Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. His chilling, calculated performance as the brilliant but terrifying cannibal earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor. What made his performance so powerful was not just the horror, it was the subtlety. Hopkins used stillness, silence, and piercing eyes to create one of the most memorable villains in film history. Though he appeared on screen for less than 20 minutes, his presence haunted audiences. Hannibal Lecter became one of cinema's most iconic characters, ranked alongside the greatest performances of all time. Hopkins would reprise the role in Hannibal, 2001, and Red Dragon, 2002, further cementing the character's legacy. While Hannibal Lecter made him famous, Anthony Hopkins' career extended far beyond that single role. His filmography is a masterclass in versatility. Howard's End, 1992, earning another Oscar nomination. The Remains of the Day, 1993, a heartbreaking performance as a butler repressing his emotions, which earned him yet another nomination. Legends of the Fall, 1994, a sweeping family epic where he brought dignity and gravitas to the role of Colonel Ludlow. Nixon, 1995, Amistad, 1997, and The Mask of Zorro, 1998, each showcasing his ability to completely transform into any character. In 2020, at the age of 83, Hopkins delivered another career-defining performance in The Father. His portrayal of an elderly man struggling with dementia was both devastating and deeply human. For that role, he won his second Academy Award for Best Actor, becoming the oldest actor ever to receive the honor. What makes Hopkins unique is not only his acting talent but his artistry beyond the screen. He is an accomplished pianist and composer, having written classical music pieces performed by major orchestras. His compositions reveal a man who finds beauty and peace in music. Hopkins is also a talented painter, creating vivid, abstract works of art that have been exhibited around the world. These creative outlets are more than hobbies. They are extensions of his soul, showing that Anthony Hopkins is an artist in the truest sense of the word. Hopkins' journey has not been without hardship. He has spoken openly about his struggles with alcoholism earlier in life, crediting his sobriety since 1975 as a turning point. He has also been candid about his challenges with relationships and estrangement within his family, reminding us that even legends are human, with flaws and regrets. But in his later years, Hopkins has embraced peace and gratitude. He often shares uplifting messages on social media, playing piano, painting, or reflecting on life with humility and joy. Crown Honors and Legacy. In recognition of his contributions to the arts, Anthony Hopkins was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 1993, becoming Sir Anthony Hopkins. Over his career, he has received 2 Academy Awards, 2 Emmy Awards, 4 BAFTA Awards, the Golden Globe Cecil B. DeMille Award for Lifetime Achievement. Few actors in history have matched his range, his depth, or his ability to command the screen. Today, at 86 years old, Anthony Hopkins continues to work, create, and inspire. He remains one of the greatest actors alive, a man whose career has defined excellence in film for generations. But perhaps what makes him most remarkable is his humility. Despite his awards and achievements, he often describes himself as just an actor who loves his craft. Anthony Hopkins is more than a performer. He is an artist, a survivor, and a living legend. From the streets of Wales to the Academy Awards stage, from Hannibal Lecter to The Father, his journey is a reminder that greatness is not about perfection. It is about truth, dedication, and passion. As we celebrate his life today, we give thanks for the decades of brilliance he has shared with us. Sir Anthony Hopkins, your legacy is eternal, and your story continues to inspire millions around the world.